Hello my lovelies, welcome to my little cottage by the sea, the place where I love to stitch and craft my way to a vintage inspired and sustainable lifestyle. For Vlogtober I'm bringing you 13 treats and delights which I'm very much hoping that you will enjoy. You've already had the first one, which were my spooky recommendations, and in this, the second of the 13 treats and delights, I'm going to be decorating my dining room just a little bit for Halloween, and I also decided to make this really fun All Hallows calendar. I thought we have an advent calendar and I always really enjoy that, so I designed this Witch's Boot Halloween calendar and I'm really excited to share it with you, so much so that there's actually a free pattern template download which you can find at my website www.taradeighton.co.uk, and you can get making your own All Hallows calendar along with me. It's really fun, simple, cheap little project, great for all the little monsters in your life, but who am I kidding? Mine is a very selfish make. So let's get on with this very simple, fun little craft project, my Witch's Boot All Hallows calendar.
You only need a few minimal supplies for this calendar, most of which you'll have in your stash. I've designed the pattern template to use felt, so there's minimal seam allowance included because you just edge stitch it together, but I suppose you could use fabric if maybe you back it and stabilise it before you cut it. I've only cut out 13 boots, so that was 26 boots in total. If you are going to make 31 witches boots for each day of Halloween and October, then I've approximated that you will need about 1/2 metre or just under of felt in your chosen colour. I ended up using about 20 centimetres, I think, for my 26 pieces, which made my 13. The next bit is the fun bit, which is decorating your witch's boot. I just decorated the side that was going to be seen once hung, and I decided to use my favourite colour, pink, on the black. It's one of my favourite colour combinations, although it's not terribly spooky, but one should have things in one's house that one really, really loves. And this is where you can just really go for it. So I just embroidered daisy chain flowers onto my boots. I didn't really have much of an idea of how I was doing it. I just did what seemed nice. And then once I'd embroidered one of the sides, I paired up the boots, so there's a front and a back, and I sat down on my vintage Singer machine, a 99K from the mid-50s, who I've called Brigitte, who is actually haunted. Sometimes she goes by herself, or maybe there's a ghostly seamstress using her when I'm out of the way. I made a load of these, all of them different, but you could of course use pre-bought things or add really spooky little things like bats, should you wish to, or you could make them look like Victorian boots, which is what I based my design on. I hung my boots on just 1 metre length of velvet ribbon, and I bought some very thin satin ribbon to basically tie the boots onto the velvet ribbon so that I can hang it up in my dining room, which I'm just about to decorate. All I did was I threaded through the ribbon using a needle with a big eye but a fairly sharp point into the seam of the boot. It was a little bit trickier than I thought, and upon reflection maybe just using black embroidery thread or floss would have been a slightly easier idea. But once I did that, I then just sewed the ribbon onto the back of the velvet ribbon and it all sort of worked out. Sometimes you just got to make do with what you have, and as long as you're happy with the end result, it really doesn't matter. And I'm sure all the ghoulies and ghosties who are wondering about this spooky season would be delighted with the end result. I decided to just put some chocolates in mine, and then also I'm going to put some little treats and delights in by way of activities that I can do for each of these 13 days. You could open your Halloween calendar across the month or every day if you do 31, or you could just do the last 13 days leading up to All Hallows Eve, should you wish. Fill each boot with whatever trick, treat or delight you feel is suitable for the person that you've made it for. And then I got out my Halloween decorations. It's like welcoming old and dear friends back into my little cottage by the sea. And it was lovely to see this pumpkin garland, which I did as a tutorial a long time ago, and I'll pop a little card up. And these other pumpkins I made with my beautiful patrons over at Tara's Stitch Coven. I really hope you've enjoyed this second instalment of Vlogtober, and thank you so much for taking the time to spend the time with me in my spooky little cottage by the sea while I make the Witch's Boot calendar, which I hope you will enjoy and make for yourselves. Do head over to my website for the pattern, and also I hope that wherever you are in the world, my ghouls and gals, you are keeping chillingly well and enjoying all things that go bump in the night. Till next time.